Hi, I'm Rick, and this is Burn After Reading. Let me start off with this. I haven't studied the Delphi case the same way I did with the West Memphis 3 or Stephen Avery / Brandon Dassey case. There's a lot I don't know about it, and I don't want to give the impression that I'm some sort of authority on the subject. However, I have some insights that I think are worth mentioning. From the very beginning, the murders of Libby German and Abby Williams has been a sad circus on social media. It has birthed numerous personalities to spout off wild theories, rumors, and speculation almost as if it were based in fact. The finger has been pointed to locals, sex offenders, murderers in unrelated cases, local law enforcement, and even members of the victims' families. I mean, even I thought King and Klein may have had some involvement, but it appears that's not the case unless some other shocking development comes about. Richard Allen was arrested nearly a year ago for the double murder. His trial is set in early January of 2024, but it's possible it could be pushed later. It's hard to imagine how that makes those who lost the two girls feel. Believe me, they hear and listen to us, as if the tragic loss wasn't enough. We who have never experienced a horrific loss on this level get to live our lives unfazed and perhaps ignorant of this intense, overwhelming feeling that they have to live with every day, whether they want to think about it or not. It's always there, and while we may assume that we know that's what they're going through, we don't actually comprehend it. That's why the events as of late have me concerned. So, someone had leaked photos of the crime scene to multiple content creators who cover the Delphi case. So, I don't know if it's the original person that leaked it or a person who leaked it to them and so forth leaked it. It's a bit murky to me, but it includes photos of the bodies of Abby and Libby. I do not understand the motive of the person who did this, but it is my understanding that this person who's responsible committed suicide recently, which only adds to the very grim story of this case. While some content creators have taken an oath not to release these photos in any capacity, some have come out and released episodes talking about what they saw in these photos. Some see sticks on the bodies as a way to cover them up, while others see sticks staged in some ritualistic meaning, specifically to Odinism. So there's clearly two differing opinions as to what these content creators saw. Who honestly, in all honesty, never should have seen these photos to begin with. The whole thing reminds me of what they call pareidolia, which is seeing shapes in the clouds or a face on a burnt piece of toast. It becomes very interpretive. If the sticks were staged in some ritualistic fashion, is it really Odinism or is it something personal, maybe to the killer alone? Richard Allen's defense team released court documents claiming the police are hiding evidence from the judge about Odinus being responsible for the killings. You can read the 136-page documents yourself if you haven't done so already. I'm not going to go into all of it here. But whether intended or not, the combined court documents of the alternative suspects and the leaked photos sent out to content creators unfairly helps the defense. If content creators are having a pareidolia moment and are falsely believing the crime scene was that of an Odin sacrifice, it has the potential to taint things. The more something is out there, the more people hear it, and the more it can affect the jury pool. But here's the other thing. Motive doesn't have to be proven. Just that a person or persons or a group of people, that they did it and that the evidence takes you to him, her, or them regardless of the reason. For example, Richard Allen places himself at the crime scene that day. He describes himself wearing the same clothes as Bridge Guy. Bridge Guy is the murderer, or at least one of them. He mentions passing by some girls, and those same girls mention a man dressed as Bridge Guy passing them. There's a cycled bullet found at the crime scene with the markings that match one of Alan's guns. Not to mention Richard confessing to his wife and mother on the phone that he committed the crimes. Then you have the defenses for alternate Odinist suspects. So, timesheets show for the first suspect that he was clocked in at work at the time of the homicide. So, you would assume that would clear him. I know you're always going to have those conspiracy theorists that someone did it for him. He jumped over a fence and then he went and committed the crimes. I think that's absolutely bullshit, but you're going to have people who are going to think that. Then records show the second suspect's cell phone remained in Rushville on the day of the killings, but in a conflicting statement puts him in Muncie. The third suspect told police that he was home on February 13th, 2017. The fourth suspect said that he was in Muncie with the second suspect. Then you have the two so-called Odinists bully guards who threatened Alan that he'd better confess to his wife and mother that he killed Abby and Libby or else they would harm his family. Both guards denied any involvement in Odinism, but one did say he follows Norse pagan heathenry. If the two guards, if they threatened Alan, well, why didn't they just go all the way and tell him he'd better go against his lawyer's wishes and ask for the prosecutor or a detective so that he can confess on the spot? See, some of this isn't passing the smell test. But regardless of our opinions, there's going to be a trial that I hope will seek justice. I hope all the facts are presented and laid out and we don't have another miscarriage of justice, very similar to the Casey Anthony and O.J. Simpson trials. If Richard Allen is found guilty, I hope we don't end up with some asshole filmmakers trying to free him like others did with the West Memphis 3, what others are trying with Stephen Avery and Brandon Dassey, and of course, let's not forget Adnan Syed. Because I'm telling you right now, I am concerned we are headed down one of those paths. So let's just hope for justice and that a verdict we can all accept. It doesn't bring Abby and Libby back from the grave. But we don't need to make martyrs out of killers either. Until next time.
Got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time.